tornado. It's probably about a half-mile wide. We've been following this wedge tornado for about 30 minutes. We got in a bad position and had to catch up to it. We're about 3 to 5 miles northeast of Abilene, Kansas. This wedge tornado's already done significant damage. It's already cycled a couple times. You can see in the contrast, isn't that great? You see it right in front of me. It's about is about 3 to 5 miles northeast of Abilene-Chapman. It's already done significant damage. We do know that. The tornado's now right up to the moving east at roughly 20 to 25 miles an hour. In fact, it caught us off guard. We were on the back side, and we couldn't catch up to it, so we had to completely go all the way around the storm to catch up to this point. I may have to stop filming here for a little bit because we may have to move east so we can maintain good road network with this. You can also see it's rain wrapped. Fairly easy to see though, but we are concerned about that as well. We don't want to get any part of the rain wrapped end of this either. So again, we have to be very careful here. There's a potential for satellite tornadoes. There's a lot of swirly and clouds by aim up here. You can just see what's going on there. But again, this large wedge tornado has been on the ground for roughly 30 minutes. Again, we're 3 to 5 miles northeast of Abilene, Kansas. Okay, I think that says we have to go. I'll broadcast as soon as I can again. All right, we won't be able to stay for long. Again, you can see this large wedge tornado. We are now about 10 miles northeast of Abilene, Kansas. This is Interstate 70 in the foreground. This tornado is coming directly toward us. And like I said, we will not be able to stay very long. This is, again, a quarter to half-mile wide tornado. It's coming directly toward us. You can see a tremendous convergence on the tornado. I'm just going to pan a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. You can see where the sun is. But anyway, this tornado is coming, and it's getting rain-wrapped. You can see it's a tremendously huge circulation. We'll be able to stay here for about another minute, I'd say, and then we've got to go. In fact, I think we're going to have to leave now. The rear flank downdraft is catching me. I'll broadcast when I can again. Okay, we moved a few miles further east. We are now near Chapman, Kansas. It's hard to tell exactly how large this tornado is because you can see it's rain-wrapped significantly. We think the main circulation is still a quarter to a half-mile wide, but you can see the outer circulation is clearly, especially if I zoom in over in this area here, I think the circulation overall is maybe 2 miles wide. You can hear the tornado sirens in the background from Chapman, Kansas. We're right on Interstate 70 is what you see in the foreground. And we're in Chapman, Kansas. The tornado looks like it's about to cross I-70 to the south side. Again, we're not entirely sure how wide it is. You can tell from the rain wrap. This is what makes these so dangerous. This is very similar to the El Reno tornado in a sense that the overall circulation may be much wider than the actual funnel if we were closer. Part of the problem now is that it's occluding, and so some of the rainfall is wrapping in and around it, so we can't really see where it is, but this has been a wedge tornado of a quarter to a half-mile wide, maybe even bigger. We don't know. I'm looking at the contrast on the video. It's doing better than what the naked eye sees. It seems like you're seeing the funnel there right in the center, the main funnel, and that still looks about that quarter and a half mile wide. And again, you can see the overall circulation is clearly 2 miles wide. If I go over here, again, you can see some of the outer circulation being pulled in. What we've been doing is we've been basically standing put just until about the rear flank downdraft reaches us in the occlusion, and then moving on. That keeps us close but fairly safe. Lightning's probably the biggest risk at this time. Again, you can see a lot of traffic, a lot of chasers coming with the storm, and you can see people stopping wisely ahead of it. This storm has now been on the ground, the tornado's been on the ground roughly about 35 to 40 minutes. Did produce an earlier very small tornado. If you want an eerie thing, you can see the sun over here. There's the setting sun. Sunset up here at this time is part of the country. It's about 8:30 p.m. Again, this tornado is near Chapman, Kansas, just to the northwest of Chapman, Kansas, crossing Interstate 70. It is coming toward us and moving slightly southeast. We're probably going to have to move shortly to our next thing, so stand by for further broadcast. Okay, we are now on U.S. Highway 77, 7 miles south of Junction City, Kansas. We're looking at this large supercell that's produced a large wedge tornado that was on the ground for roughly 45 minutes. That has occluded out, which means that the rain wrapped in and cut it off, so you can see that rain area. However, if we draw our attention to the right or east of that, you can see a new wall cloud forming.
You might be able to see the tornado in the middle. See that? Yeah, you can.
This is what we call a cyclic supercell, where a new mesocyclone forms on the east side of the old one and develops a new tornado. Long track tornadoes sometimes, or multi-tornadoes can do this. So we're going to keep an eye there. If you look in the center, it's very hard to tell whether there's still a tornado in there or not.
Went just to its south. It looks like
so I'm going to zoom out a bit, just so you've got a better idea on it.
It looks like another one is about to form.
So we'll just stay here. There still may be some circulation left inside that rain, but I think it's occluded. I think the action is going to be here on this east side. So we'll just keep an eye out for that. Again, this storm has done this twice already. Very early small tornado almost an hour and a half ago. Then the large wedge tornado, and that cycled once. And then now this developing area. As you can see, we're getting close to sunset. Sunset here in Kansas is around 8:30. But it's nicely backlit, of course, by the sun there. Again, we'll just stay here and see ahead. What we did is we transitioned east. We've been trying to sort of skip ahead of the tornado. And we finally decided to just make a big jump east so we could get up on a hillside and look for this. So glad to see you're following us, Scott. So Matt and I got really lucky. We were on the Dodge City multiple tornadoes yesterday, and those were on the order of 13 tornadoes. Matt just pulled to me, and if I spread over, now in the contrast, you can see the large elephant trunk tornado. Do you see that in the rain-wrapped area? Someone tell me if you can see it. Large, yes, very good. Thank you, Aaron. You can see the large elephant trunk tornado in the rain-wrapped area. And then as I move over, just to zoom in, let me zoom in for you all. There we go, just a little bit. The resolution is going to, of course, suffer. I'm using my iPhone. But you can see the new wall cloud and the new mesocyclone trying to form off to the right or the east side. Again, if we go back, you can see the giant elephant trunk tornado. This was a wedge earlier, so actually what's happened is the base of the wall cloud's lifted substantially in that part of the storm, and we're seeing this beautiful elephant trunk. Unfortunately, as beautiful as this might be in nature, we are aware that it's done significant damage. I don't know anything about injuries or fatalities. When it was north of the Abilene, Kansas area, we saw a lot of emergency vehicles on their way, and the local weather service office has reported that there's at least significant damage with this tornado. We don't doubt that because it was a huge wedge on the ground, and now you can see this elephant trunk large tornado. And then again, we're still watching that wall cloud area. I can zoom in just a little bit more maybe on the tornado for you all. You can very clearly see it. But right now, we are about 7 to 8 miles from this tornado. I guess I should make that clear. So about 7 to 8 miles away is how far we're looking at this tornado. Of course, it's a lot larger in real life. In real life, the tornado looks about this big to me. So, of course, in camera, it shrinks things down a little bit. Matt says that actually we're maybe more like 6 miles away from the tornado now. It is moving toward us, but we're not particularly concerned about it at this point. It's actually moving a little bit to right now. You can see now it looks like it may be roping out. This is where the tornado circulation dissipates, doesn't quite reach the surface. You see how there's a little skinny extension of it below the main funnel. So that's something we would expect in this occlusion process. And then what we would be looking for again is for another tornado to form out of this wall cloud area, this new mesocyclone to the east. We're We're getting a little bit of light rain here, but nothing big. Our main concern would be lightning. The tornado, we're in a very safe position. That's not really any threat at all. Lightning, however, we are concerned with. We can get inside the vehicle if we need to, and I may do that here in a little bit. We'll see. But again, now you can see the tornado has reconnected with the ground. Very clear, very easy to see. Wonderful backlit tornado. All right. Terribly sorry about that, folks. I took some pictures, so it cut everyone off. So we're now back. Again, we are now 6 to 7 miles south of Junction City, Kansas on US 77. What you're looking at is a well-developed elephant trunk tornado about 5 miles from us to our west-northwest. You can also see that large tornado. I strongly suspect it is connected to the ground still. In fact, if I zoom in, you can see a little thin part of it is. All right, and we'll zoom back out a little bit. Now we're starting to get a little bit of cold air. So what happens in these circulations is what we call a rear flank downdraft. This is cold air that's brought down behind the thunderstorm, rotates in to the mesocyclone where the tornado is. It's key to tornado genesis, but we're now starting to feel a little bit of that cooler air, which means possibly it's time for us to leave.
It's about 4 miles.
Now you can see the tornado is what we call roped out. That's very common, again, when we get this rear flank downdraft, and it occludes or circles around and cuts it off. So now the main action area is going to be this new mesocyclone that's developing on the east side. This tornado, or this supercell, has done this a couple times already. And you can see it's a very large wall cloud. That wall cloud's probably 2 miles across. When we were in Dodge City, Kansas yesterday, that wall cloud did produce one fairly large tornado, but it produced lots of small tornadoes, including multi-vortex. This storm has tended to only have one tornado at a time, but they've been very large tornadoes. There was a larger wedge earlier, and many of you just saw the elephant trunk. If you notice here, if I keep this focused on this area, notice how you see air descending here rapidly? This is the rear flank downdraft that's coming in. You can't feel this, but now the wind is in my face, and it's fairly cool. The chaser's rule is that the wind should always be at your back, because that means you're in the inflow area. When the wind is in your face, it means you're now starting to get rear flank downdraft. So, video, we should probably move, Matt.